Hello, subscribers and non-subscribers, and welcome back to another episode of Tom Clancy's EndWar. Actually, I do want to say one thing real quick. This episode, I'm not planning to have count as an actual episode in the series. In fact, I'm planning for this to sort of be a what-if kind of scenario, as if things had actually worked out in the final Battle of Paris. So yeah, but let me know in the comment section if you would like for this to be the way things actually played out. But for the most part, it's really just for myself to figure out if the game really wanted me to use infantry in the Battle of Paris. But if you guys decide you want me to have this count as the actual way things played out, then the other attempts in Paris will be essentially just simulations is the way we'll treat it. But for now, we're going to go with, we're going to reload turn 20. And we're going to fight the Battle of Paris and see if, well, they really wanted me to use infantry.
We're updating your strategic...
The death toll from this morning's detonation of a 15-kiloton nuclear device in Rome's city center is expected to number in the tens of thousands.
Okie dokie. So, yes, as I said, let me know in the comments section if you would like for this to be the way things actually played out in Paris. Otherwise, next week I'll just be doing an actual episode, which will take place from the end of the stream that I did last week, or not last week, the week before, as of this recording.
In Western Europe, the battle for Paris is the priority. Last week we drove the Euros back. Now it's time to finish them off. Colonel, we've driven the Euros back into their holes. Paris is within our grasp. I want you to choke it until it submits. Your opponent is once again General Major Alexei Motz of Enforcers Battle Group 1 Special Warfare. You beat him the last time you faced off. Today, we get to see if that was a fluke or Darwin talking. The big picture is that we're winning this war, but every pixel of that image matters, Colonel. Get out there and accomplish your mission. Mitchell out.
Okay, see ya, Mitchell. 1 second, I just realized I've got 2 million credits to spend. Okie dokie, let's, probably best upgrade the infantry, because that's what we'll be using for this testing. That one not so much. It's pretty much all my money. Yeah, that's basically all I have. Just to check. Okay, I'll go and grab defenses for you guys. Increase the damage your drones do. I'll give you some defenses and whatnot. Okie dokie, I think that's basically all the money I can spend. Yep. Okay, Mitchell, I'm back.
The death toll from this morning's detonation of a 15-kiloton nuclear device...
Colonel, we've driven the Euros back into their holes. One final push, and we can visit the Louvre and see what the fuss is all about. Your opponent is once again General Major Alexei Motz of Enforcers Battle Group 1 Special Warfare. You beat him the last time you faced off. Today, we get to see if that was a fluke or Darwin talking. This war is going our way, Colonel, and I want to keep it that way. Bring home a victory today. Mitchell out.
Okay, I think that's a decent setup. Well, actually, no, we'll grab another rifleman. We'll grab... Yeah, okay. Hopefully this will be a good enough setup. Actually, you know what? We'll go with a transport, damn it. Because they're probably going to have gunships, and so a transport would be advisable. Yeah, because engineers are only gain pluses against vehicles and gunships when they are in cover, which they're not always going to be in cover.
Frontiersman is go. Repeat, Frontiersman is go. Assault force inbound on DZ. Ready to take the city.
This is Kingpin. All systems up.
Let's see, I mean, we can go straight down the middle, and I think that might be advisable.
Copy. Moving.
This is Kingpin. All systems up. On the way. In motion, sir. Poker face here. All squads are good.
How
Roger.
decent is
On
that
the move.
old-time guitar rock?
Moving out.
We have units inbound on DZ. Units entering the battle space. We have units inbound on DZ.
The other vehicles are going to have to wait. They're sort of going to move in after. Spending most of their time dealing with the frickin' barriers.
Sidecar here. All rollers ready for action.
Check central quadrant. Eyes on European army troops.
We're in position. Yes, sir. Smash 'em.
This is Boulder. Schwarzkopf, ready to roll. Yes, sir. Wreck and ball. This is Boulder. Spartans, ready to roll.
This is gonna be good. Artillery fire on our position. They're feeling it.
Ice pick. We're in cover. Werewolf here. Take to cover.
Okay, pull back,
Roger. Know what
guys.
to do.
You're sort of getting stomped.
Werewolf here. All squads vertical. On the move, sir. Yes, sir. Moving. Spectre here. Artillery fire on our position.
Check Unit 7. They're in trouble. Eyes on Enforcer combat engineers. Reinforcements ready to deploy.
This is Mag.
Roger. Flat. This is ATF. Cover and hold.
They're chewing us up.
Check Unit 7. Suppressed by hostile action.
This is Spectre. They did it. We're done. We need evac.
Check Foxtrot. We have secured it.
This is Threadblood. Securing the uplink, sir. Ice pick here. In cover and hold.
This is ATF. We have to man down.
This is Werewolf. Take to cover.
Eyes on AMZ 26 infantry fighting vehicles.
This is Litter. Survivors loaded. Outlet. Oh yeah. We'll kill him. Grinder here. Waiting for orders.
This is ATF. We take cover.
Grinder here. Artillery fire on our position.
Check Delta. Uplink has been secured. Check South Quadrant. Eyes on Panther tanks.
In motion, sir. Adder here. We got a kill, sir. Yes, sir. Engage. Grinder here.
Try and destroy those barriers so you can get through.
Evac successful. Heading home.
We have units inbound on DZ.
Adder here. This is Ice Pick. Cover and hold.
Check Unit 11. They're getting rattled.
They're killing us! This is Werewolf. Ready for orders.
Gun.
Adder here.
Engage them.
Engaging hostiles. This is Grinder. Everyone's chewed up. Send evac, damn it! Werewolf here. Artillery fire on our position.
This is ATF.
This is Adder. Hostiles are taking damage. This is Mag.
Force Recon. I think Force Recon will be the most useful.
You got it.
This is ATF. Artillery fire on our position. This is ATF.
In motion, sir. On the way. This is Deer. Fort Scouts, ready to roll. This is Spy Car. We are outbound. This is Adder. 2 Eagles aloft.
West Quadrant. Eyes on European...
Unit 9, evacuate. Get them out of there now.
This is Force Command. Your codes authenticate. This is Force Com. Mechanized task force is available.
This is Spy Car. Ready.
Come on.
Andy up here.
Damn camera.
Moving out.
Okie dokie, so now I could call in Force Recon, which I think I'm going to do.
Ice pick here. In cover and hold.
Though they're going to struggle to get through there until after I take out the barriers.
This is Andy up.
Werewolf here. Ready for order.
We have multiple units ready to deploy.
This is Andy up. We've taken cover.
We have units inbound on DZ.
Butcher here. All rollers good to go. Poker face here.
Okay.
Andy up here. We've lost a squad.
Roger, secure uplink. This is Mac. Time to let it fly.
Check Unit 4. They'll get shredded.
We can use some cover, sir. 2 squads down.
That's one reason why I'm trying to tell you to get into that building.
This is Ice Pick. All squads vertical.
This is Andy up. We've secured the building.
We have multiple units ready to deploy.
Ice Pick. This is Werewolf. All squads vertical. Werewolf here. Securing uplink.
Check Unit 4. I've requested extract.
This is Litter. Inbound to extraction.
Check Central Quadrant. Eyes on Badger IFVs.
Moving out. This is Ice Pick.
Oh, can you guys move up through there?
Rollers good to go.
Please tell me you can.
Copy. Move in.
This is Sidewinder. All Eagles are up.
Check Unit 5. They're suppressed. Check Unit 5. They're getting hit with incendiaries.
They're murdering us! This is Litter. Survivors loaded. Outfit. This is Ice Pig. Destination reach. This is Sidewinder. Engaging hostile. This is Ice Pig.
Burn that ammo!
Copy that. Full speed. They're chewing us up! Poker face here. All squads are good.
This is Sidecar. We're in position.
This is Werewolf. We're taking a lot of fire. Butcher here. In motion, sir.
Damn, you guys aren't able to get through there yet?
We're on it. This is Magnum. That is a kill. Don't get arrogant. Poker face here. We don't have any cover here, sir. Position is exposed.
South Quadrant. Eyes on Enforcer Combat Engineers.
Poker face here. This is Ice Pig. They're going after us.
All right,
Check
time
Unit
for some
11.
work, these morons.
They'll be clobbered.
This is Litter. Evac successful. Heading home. Snag the uplink, sir. Understood. On the move, sir. This is Smash Leader. Approaching target. Hostiles are taking damage.
East Quadrant. Eyes on European Army troops.
Force Com confirms. Task force dispatched.
This is Ice Pig. We're taking a lot of fire. Sidewinder here. This is Ice Pig. Everyone's dead or wounded. We need evac now.
Check Unit 6. I've requested evac.
This is Airborne. Inbound to extraction.
Damn it, damn it, damn it.
Mayday, Mayday. Going down. Send evac.
Check Unit 11. I've requested extract.
This is Poker Face. Securing the uplink. This is Gertie. Inbound
There
to
we go.
extraction. This is Storm Leader. Approaching target.
There we go.
This is Airborne. Survivors loaded. Outbound.
Sidecar here. We got some scorch marks. Yes, sir. In transit.
This is Magnum. Time to kick ass. This is Poker Face. This is Gertie. Survivors loaded. We're out. Butcher here. This is Threat Flush. In cover, holding position.
Sidecar here.
Magnum here. Time to kick ass.
Sidecar here.
This is
I get the feeling that I was actually completely supposed to use infantry to do this.
Check Alpha. It is secured.
Now, of course, I need to hold Alpha for 3 minutes, but I think I can do that.
Smash it down. Yes, sir.
This is back. Opening fire.
Barring any
Units entering the battle.
unexpected enemy forces.
Broken face here. We've lost a squad.
You watch how we do it, baby, because we put the hammer down.
Situation is critical. Use of kinetic strikes authorized. Check Central Quadrant. High energy laser strike in progress. Hostiles are deploying.
Coordinates received.
This is Butcher. All rollers out of the fight. Send evac.
Check Unit 7. I've ordered extraction.
This is Bedman. Inbound to extraction. This is Top Hat. That is a kill. Roger. Light him up.
That's right, boys. Line them up.
Check Central Quadrant. Eyes on Panther tanks.
This is Bedman. Survivors loaded. Outbound.
We have units inbound on DZ.
This is Harkins. We are outbound. This is Baskin. We are outbound. This is Will. We're out of the fight, sir. Send evac.
Check Unit 5. I've requested extract. Check Unit 3. They are outmatched. Southwest Quadrant. Eyes on European Army troops.
This is Bedman. Evac successful. Heading home.
Hostiles are deploying.
This is Harkins. We're heading home.
Check Unit 3. I've requested extract. Check Unit 2. They'll be clobbered.
Broken face here. Artillery fire in our position. This is Top Hat. Hostiles are taking hits. This is Scooter. Survivors loaded. We're outbound.
U.S. Army units defending position. We have units inbound on DZ. Check Unit 6. I've requested extract.
This is Litter. Inbound to extraction. We're out of the fight, sir. Requesting extraction.
Check Unit 2. I've requested extract.
This is Harkins. Inbound to extraction. This is Airborne. Survivors loaded. Outbound. This is Joseph. Schwarzkopf's out of traction.
South Quadrant. Hostiles deploying. Eyes on marksman artillery vehicles.
This is Litter. Survivors loaded. Outbound.
Check Unit 7. Bad engagement.
This is Harkins.
Yeah, I don't really give a crap if it's a bad engagement at this moment in time.
We could use some cover, sir. This is Grinder. Starting our attack.
Yep.
This is fine. Socialism doesn't work on a battlefield. After
So-
report for your review, sir.
Yep, I was definitely supposed to use infantry to take Paris, it would seem. Everything seems to point in that direction. It takes far too long to take down those barricades to be able to use vehicles for the most part. Pretty much the only way you're able to use vehicles is if you secure Whiskey and set it as a forward deployment zone. But if you don't secure Whiskey, you can't really use vehicles beyond, well, artillery to an extent, and obviously gunships, but you're not really able to use tanks or transports. And eventually you'll reach a limit as to where your artillery can prove useful. But yeah, you're definitely supposed to use infantry here in Paris. There's pretty much no way around that, unless you were to, in some way, shape, and or form, mod the durability on these barriers from whatever the hell it is now to like a tenth of its current health or something. Then maybe, yeah, you could use vehicles quite extensively, honestly. But unless you do that, nah, you pretty much have to use infantry here for Paris. So, yes. Okay, one unit was promoted. Who? Taipan. Okay, Taipan was promoted. But as I said, this is not actually... I'm not going to use it as an actual series. This is going to be labeled as a 0.5 episode. But if you guys decide you want me to use this as the true way that things turned out here in Paris, then, well, we'll have it turn out this way. And we'll have the other ones that occurred in the stream sort of after that second battle. Or, well, after the first time I fought this battle here in Paris, will be considered sort of simulations. But as it stands right now, this is a sort of me trying to figure out what I was supposed to do to actually win Paris, which in this case was obviously to use infantry and not vehicles, because game mechanics dictated that.
We're updating your strategic display now. Here's how things panned out over the past week. We did badly on the home front. We didn't mess around in Western Europe.
Okay. So there we go, we got Paris.
We took it from the Euros.
To facilitate food distribution and help contain the spread of influenza M, President Becerra has invoked martial law in all territories governed by the United States.
And it would appear as though the Europeans are still able to fight, even though I have taken their capital. Though I could have sworn, and maybe it's only like that in the multiplayer, but I could have sworn that if you lost your capital, or at least from what I was reading up, it sounded as if you lost your capital, you were no longer allowed to go on the offensive until you retook it. Which you were able to every so often launch essentially a guerrilla movement is the way I would describe it, to try and retake your capital if you lost it. At least from what I was reading up, that's the way it worked. But it would appear as though, at least in the single player, even if you lose your capital, you're still able to fight. Which, to me, is kind of a surprise. Because I would think that it would be set up so that if you lose your capital, it doesn't matter if you're doing the single player or the multiplayer. If you lose your capital, and you are no longer allowed to go on the offensive until you retake it. But as soon as you retake your capital, then yeah, you can go out on the offensive. Though, of course, it's going to be a bit of a pain to retake your capital, I'd imagine. And, of course, while you're attempting to retake your capital, you're losing land elsewhere. But yeah, okay, it would appear as though the game is, at least in the single player, set up to still allow you to go on the offensive even if you lose your capital. At least for the AI. I'm sure if I lost my capital, it would be game over right then and there. But at least as it stands right now, the Europeans are still able to try and take over some of my army bases and whatnot. Which, okay, whatever. I guess I can leave them be for now, pretty much. Oh, well, not really. I'd actually have to go and take them out completely, but nonetheless. But this is only going to count as the way things actually turned out if you guys want it to. So let me know in the comments section if you would like for this to be the way things actually played out in my attempts to conquer Paris. Otherwise, I'll just go ahead and load up turn 23 down here next time. But as it stands right now, that at least answered the question as to how you're supposed to win Paris in this game, which is, well, as we saw, infantry. Infantry is really your only choice. And because I'm not sure if this is going to count as the way things actually played out, I'm not going to spend any of these funds. I just don't think it's worth it. I'm going to save over turn 20 or turn 19 down there. And as I said, let me know in the comments section if you want this to be the way things actually played out in my attempts to conquer Paris. Otherwise, I'm just going to go ahead and, as I said, next week record starting from turn 23. But until then, goodbye and farewell.